Today we're going to be going over the buy, sells, holds, and trades from Week 11 fantasy football. We're going to go game by game, matchup by matchup, and we're going to look at the players who got fraud checked. We're going to look at the players who went off, everything in between. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going to go deep on the waiver wire. We're going to go deep on those players who are climbing up the depth charts, looking at their advanced analytics all week long. And then at the end of the week, we're going to help you set your lineups. Click that button. Stop missing out. First game we're looking at here, Bears and Packers. Talk about fraud check. The last 3 games, Caleb Williams was getting fraud checked. We came back strong today. 231 yards passing, looking good. We kept up with the Packers today. DeAndre Swift, 71 yards and a touchdown. Roschon Johnson was getting some work. He was getting opportunity. We scored a touchdown. Something to look at off the waiver wire if you need to be that deep at running back. We're looking at the wide receivers here. Rome Odunze gets you 10 targets, 6 catches, 65 yards, no touchdowns. DJ Moore, finally an okay day for fantasy football. We've been on a cold streak. Cole Kmet a little something. Keenan Allen a little something, but not enough for fantasy. Christian Watson goes off. 4 catches and 150 yards. Game breaker. The rest of the wide receivers for the Packers, dust. Josh Jacobs getting nasty with it with a touchdown on the ground, 76 yards, and then 4 catches for 58 yards. Looking at Jordan Love, getting it done. A touchdown and a pick, but 261 yards. Also a touchdown on the ground. Packers take it home 2019. The Jacksonville Jaguars didn't get fraud checked because we knew they were going to be on the low. But the Detroit Lions come in swinging hard, knocking guys out. Mac Jones not getting it done. Travis Etienne just looking pitiful out there. 2.3 yards per carry. Brian Thomas Jr. saving the day for you. The deep threat, getting it done while behind. Still getting you some fantasy points with 5 catches, 82 yards. Honestly, that's it for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're looking at the Detroit Lions, and it's the Elder Scrolls of production here. Amon-Ra St. Brown goes off. 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11 targets. J-Mo, deep threat city. He is still running. He's so fast out there. Jahmyr Gibbs getting it done in the passing game. And on top of that, 11 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Just getting it done. And then we get some jabronis. Khalil Raymond, Tim Patrick, getting it done, but not enough for fantasy football. Something to look at for Thanksgiving when you want to gamble on DFS on those slates. Jahmyr Gibbs, 69 yards, touchdown, like we said earlier. David Montgomery, 2 touchdowns, 75 yards. This team was just rolling. We got Vaki in there. We were talking about him heavy after draft season. This team was rolling, looking good. Jared Goff, 4 touchdowns, 412 yards. Mac Jones, not macking. Jared Goff is goffing. Vikings, Titans stuck with them a little bit here. Sam Darnold, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, a little bit light in the rushing department. Cam Akers getting some work. But Justin Jefferson carrying it on home for you. 6 catches, 83 yards. Jordan Addison got the touchdown. Josh Oliver got a little bit of work. That's really just it for the Vikings when it comes to production. Sam Darnold got you a rushing touchdown. Will Levis was not okay, but good enough for fantasy. Pushing the ball downfield. Nick Westbrook goes off. 2 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Deep threat city. Calvin Ridley got you 10.5 fantasy points, so you're okay with that. Tony Pollard is slowing down right now, so that's not looking solid. At least he got you 2 balls caught for 14 yards. And then Tajay Spears, 3 carries for 0 yards. Again, the Vikings win it. Not the greatest matchup for fantasy results, though. Raiders and Dolphins, and we got some storylines in this matchup. Alexander Madison and Zamir White both get hurt. We're seeing Ameer Abdullah step up, getting some work, but not that much. Jacoby Myers getting a little bit of work, but not enough to get the job done. Brock Bowers, baby, just getting it. 16 targets, 13 balls caught, 126 yards. Alexander Madison was getting it in the receiving game. Hopefully he comes back. We'll check in on that injury throughout the week. DJ Turner getting some targets. Trey Tucker got you 4 targets. Outside of that, ain't much left from the Raiders. But now we're looking at the Dolphins. Running backs score well against the Raiders. Devin Achane did just that. 73 yards and a touchdown. Malik Washington's been getting a carry a game here. Something to pay attention to, but not really. But he did get 3 catches for 11 yards. Jonnu Smith goes off with 8 targets, catching 6 of them for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Premier ad at the tight end position off the waiver wire. Tyreek Hill, 7 balls caught, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. Hand injury or not, we're going off. Jalen Waddle, dust this week. Devin Achane getting you a little extra in the passing game. Jalen Wright, not getting it yet, but we're just watching him. Raheem Mostert not doing anything. And Jalen Wright's out-touching him so far in the last 2 games. Something to monitor here from the Dolphins. Patriots-Rams, this one was a fun one as Drake May was coming back from behind. The Rams were up. Kyren Williams getting a lot of touches like always. 86 rushing yards, no touchdowns though. 5.7 yards per carry, so looking good there. Puka and Cooper Kupp both going off. Over 100 yards receiving for each. Cooper Kupp gets 2 touchdowns. Puka Kupp, 1 touchdown. On top of that, I keep seeing him getting banged up on the red zone. And then over on the Patriots side, we got the carousel effect with the wide receivers. Kendrick Bourne got it with the touchdown. But on top of that, Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte both getting a lot of work. We're also seeing Hunter Henry getting a lot of work as well. Another get at the tight end position off the waiver wire. We keep talking about him every week. Every week he keeps getting production. Ramondre Stevenson was all right. 4 balls caught, 16 yards, 5 points there, plus another 7.3 in the rushing department. He was okay. Drake May has been getting it done. Not the best for fantasy, but still 282 yards, 27 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. That's pretty good for 2024 numbers. That's pretty good for 2024 numbers. You'll take that. Rams win it 28-22. But a fun one from the rookie. We're looking at Browns Saints, and this was another fun one. Jameis Winston playing from behind, but not getting it done as we're missing on some of our targets. But 395 yards passing here, 2 touchdowns, pushing it downfield. Jerry Jeudy has himself a day. 6 balls caught, 142 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Moore getting work and a touchdown with 8 targets. Cedric Tillman got a lot of work, but not a lot of fantasy production. That was a bad beat. However, the numbers kind of worked within the workload department. It just didn't run right for us. 8 targets, though. You can't hate on that. 9 targets for David Njoku. This Browns team will get vertical. It's great for fantasy football. Jerome Ford's in the mix, too, with 4 balls caught. He's also getting 5 carries in this game. Nick Chubb, 50 yards rushing. Nothing for you for fantasy football. Still has upside every single week. Taysom Hill is still scoring fantasy points. He went off in this game. We're throwing the ball. We're rushing for 138 yards. We're also getting 50 yards receiving. This guy was going off. This was a Madden moment. This is something you play on Madden 2005 and you just keep giving the guy the rock. Alvin Kamara getting it done. 67 rushing yards, 4 balls caught, 22 yards. Good enough for fantasy football. MBS, another splash performance on 4 targets. 2 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Still getting done. After him, Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara. There's nothing left here for fantasy production. You're looking at Derek Carr. He's all right. He's all right. 248 yards, 2 touchdowns. J-Mo, 395, 2 touchdowns, getting you fantasy points while playing from behind. Colts, Jets, and the Colts win it. Anthony Richardson comes back from being benched, looking good. 20 for 30, 272 yards and a touchdown. Maybe that's what he needed. Maybe. We'll see going forward, but he looked good today. We are in the sun today. 2 rushing touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, 57 rushing yards. Josh Downs, still alive. 2 for 2 with Anthony Richardson. 5 balls caught, 84 yards and 1 touchdown. Alec Pierce, 3 balls caught, 74 yards. The splash play artist. Michael Pittman's getting dusty. That's one thing we say. A.D. Mitchell didn't fire for us, but he is that gamble threat for fantasy football. Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, the targets are just concentrated to them. Breece Hall getting a lot of work. 7 balls caught, 43 yards. That's 11 fantasy points right there. Just inching your way to production. Then you add in the touchdown, and then 78 rushing yards and another touchdown. Breece Hall going off in fantasy football. Aaron Rodgers, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. You got to call it for the Jets. 3-8 and add in Devontae Adams. That ain't a good feel. That ain't good at all. Colts take it home looking good. Ravens, Steelers. And when you get a matchup like this, Steelers good defense. You can push the pace with the Ravens. You know you're going to get something fun to watch. That's what you got. You got a little Justin Fields, you got a little Russell Wilson, you got a little Najee Harris. Everything's going on here. Najee Harris got you 18 carries for 63 yards. Jaylen Warren got a little bit of work. Not enough, really, for fantasy production, but he did catch 4 balls for 27 yards. Russell Wilson, 205 yards. No passing touchdowns for you, but he got you 1 yard rushing. But the thing is, 205 yards is okay in 2024. He'll probably be an alright QB2. Lamar Jackson, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. However, 46 rushing yards. So 4.6 fantasy points added to that. Derrick Henry, 65 yards and a touchdown on the ground, getting it done. But we look at George Pickens here. 8 balls caught on 12 targets, 89 yards. He's getting to work. He's a wide receiver 1. Darnell Washington, don't you forget about him. The size and just athleticism, he's got it for days. After that, in the receiving game, you ain't got much there because you ain't got much behind George Pickens. Isaiah Likely, he's back. 4 catches, 75 yards. Zay Flowers got that touchdown, 39 yards on 2 balls caught. 5 plus 6, so about, 12 fantasy points or something like that. Rashad Bateman didn't hit. He was due not to hit. Justice Hill caught a few balls in this matchup. Mark Andrews didn't do enough for you in fantasy football. That's how the cookie crumbles. But, the Steelers take it home. Lamar Jackson was in playoff mode, but they just could not get it done. Falcons, Broncos. Broncos kill the Falcons, and Bo Nix is getting juicy. 307 yards, 4 touchdowns. The rookie QB that you might want. Javonte Williams, Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin. That is a nasty work rate among those running backs. And now a lot of people feel dirty picking up Audric Estime. But on top of that, he is a handcuffed running back, a lottery ticket running back for the rest of the season. Due to everything that's been said, due to this workload, due to him being a rookie. However, he's among those handcuffed lottery ticket running backs. Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Wright, all those guys, and you're just waiting for one of them just to grab the bull from the horns. Has not happened yet, but it's not the greatest rookie class either. Cortland Sutton, 7 balls caught, 78 yards, good enough for fantasy. Devon Vele got you 10 fantasy points. Lil Jordan Humphrey got the touchdown. Troy Franklin got a touchdown. Marvin Mims got a touchdown. And Bo Nix is spreading it around, which is good for the rookie quarterback. Something to note. Drake London, semi-save, 9.1 PPR fantasy points. You'll take it, but you're not going to love it. It's like eating white dog shit. Ray McLeod, 6 balls caught, 46 yards. We said he might get some extra work in this game due to the Denver defense. That Denver defense is nasty. And you're looking at Bijan Robinson, 12 carries, 35 yards, 4 balls caught, 28 yards. So really not getting it done for you this week. But that makes sense due to the matchup, but you're still rolling him out because he's Bijan Robinson. Seattle Seahawks, 49ers, Brock Purdy, just 159 yards passing. So when you look at the wide receivers, it's Juwan Jennings, and that's it. But Juwan Jennings is having a good year. He's having a very good year. They got him cheap on that contract. Probably should have got a little bit more money because he's been exceeding expectations. 10 balls caught, 91 yards, and a touchdown. He is money. Christian McCaffrey's always money. 79 yards rushing, 4 balls caught. A lot of running backs caught 4 balls. I've read that off a bunch of times with you guys. Kenneth Walker, 54 yards and a touchdown. Geno Smith, 221 yards, 29 yards rushing and a touchdown. Decent, okay fantasy production for 2024. Jackson Smith-Njigba, we got to have conversations about him because he's having some blow-off top weeks. 10 catches, 110 yards, getting it done with the volume, 11 targets. DK Metcalf, 7 catches, 70 yards, 14 fantasy points. Tyler Lockett misses for us in fantasy. He was just an upside gamble anyway in a matchup that was just dirty. Seattle Seahawks take this one home. Bills, Chiefs, and we got another fun matchup. Off the rip, I was getting alerts about Amari Cooper making big plays. 2 catches, 55 yards, 7.5 fantasy points off of that one. We're also seeing James Cook get a lot of volume in offense. 9 carries, 20 yards, but 2 touchdowns. But 5 balls caught in this matchup as well for just 7 yards. Like I said, going into this matchup or with any matchup against Chiefs defense, teams got to get creative. So you're looking at the receiving game here. Khalil Shakur, 8 balls caught, 70 yards. However, a lot of quick passes out to him. Getting it out quick to him. Curtis Samuel at the top of this. Again, you got to get creative. 5 balls caught, 58 yards and a touchdown. People will chase him off waivers, but honestly, the targets came because you got to get creative against that Chiefs defense. Amari Cooper got a little bit of work. Expect his work rate since coming back from injury to increase. Dawson Knox, 8 fantasy points. Might be enough to make you a tight end 1. I'm not reading off too many tight ends that are going off this week. James Cook, like we just said. Xavier Worthy, it was his game. It was an Xavier Worthy game. And the thing is, a lot of people benched him. He might be even on waivers. He's a lottery ticket play. That's it. You hate to bench him. You hate to start him. And that's the type of player he is. 16 fantasy points right at you. DeAndre Hopkins, 4 targets, 3 catches, 29 yards. Not really getting it done in the passing game here. Kareem Hunt, 4.3 yards per carry. A lot of the game he was under 4. 14 carries, 60 yards. Got a lot of volume here. But when you look at this offense, we got 2 touchdowns to Noah Gray. Patty Mahomes under 200 yards passing, but got 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Josh Allen, 55 rushing yards and 1 touchdown, 262 yards, 1 touchdown, a pick. Got it done for you in fantasy football. That's the recap for Week 11. Let me know who busted on you, who hit on you this week. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One, thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.